Guys, you can now buy an Xpeng G6 here in Australia, and it's a good car. I just had a good look at one in China. I looked at the interior, the exterior. You guys know I know what the batteries are. Should you buy one? Should you put down a deposit? Because you can now put down a pre-order for an Xpeng G6. And my answer to that is a definite no. No, you should not. I mean, I'm categorical on this. I rarely ever do this, guys. Xpeng G6, the answer is a hard no. Do not order one. Now, does that mean what it sounds like? Well, I'll clarify what I'm saying. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has contributed to our GoFundMe campaign for my wife, Shanna, for her cancer, stage 4 cancer. So she's been posting some updates on her Facebook page, so I thought I could let you know. At this point in time, she is considered to be incurable, and so that means she has to have chemo forever, basically. So yeah, she's doing some different treatments, and radiation is going to start in, I think, about 2 weeks. So yeah, that's going to suck for her. Anyhow, just want to thank you all for contributing to that campaign, because we've hit our goal, and I really, really appreciate your support, which has been huge. Without it, I would have had to sell my house. I did sell my house, in fact, and we were able to actually buy another house here where I've moved to be near her family. So you guys prevented me from having to have no house and just rent. So thank you very much. Anyhow, the Xpeng G6, should you buy one? Well, the reason I say you shouldn't buy one or order one, I'm not saying you shouldn't buy one, that's different, is because there's no price. Now, it's a Model Y rival. They say the price will be potentially similar, maybe, to the Model Y. There's speculation about that. There's no price. They're asking you for $1,000 without a price. That is ridiculous. This is not some sort of, like, I don't know, supercar where you go, well, it's a supercar. Okay, I'll put down my deposit without knowing the price because I'm a billionaire, so who cares? Now, if you're a billionaire, yeah, sure. I mean, order 50,000, order whatever cars you want, put them all in your garage, whatever. That's, I'm talking to the average person here. Why would you order a car when there's no price? That's ridiculous. I doubt they're going to get any orders. I mean, honestly, it's a new brand in Australia. It's a new brand. The truth is, 99% of people in Australia would never even have heard of Xpeng. 99%. They would not know what brand that is. And then they're saying, yeah, give us some money anyway. I mean, what? Really? Guys, Xpeng G6 though, it's a great car. No doubt, it's a great car. Is the legitimate Tesla Model Y rival? Absolutely, it really is. Good technology. The thing is though, without reviews and test drives, it's a little bit tricky because this car has never been sold. It's never been sold in Australia before. Yes, they do sell the Xpeng G6 in Europe, so it's true that Xpeng have had a bit of experience selling cars outside of China. It's not going to come in with, Chinese Chinese software or anything like that. It will be calibrated for English speaking. I'm sure it'll be fine. But still, without seeing this car in Australia and seeing a price, you'd have to be a bit bonkers to actually pre-order one, because what's the point? Xpeng is saying if you pre-order one, you'll get, first priority. But I don't really see that being an issue. So I personally don't think that's a good idea. Now, when it comes to the size of the Xpeng G6, it's bizarrely identical in terms of size to a Tesla Model Y. I don't think the interior, from what I saw of the interior boot space, that's definitely not as big as the Model Y. But, the size is going to go somewhere else. So in terms of what I've seen, I know the actual measurements are almost identical to the Model Y. That gives you an idea on the sizes. And the specifications are a little bit different to the Model Y though. Now, it does have an 800 volt architecture, but that does not give it super fast charging. 800 volt architecture is just an architecture. It doesn't really mean that much. There's 2 models coming. The cheapest model, I believe, will be a similar price to the Tesla Model Y. I'm guessing, I think. And that comes with rear-wheel drive, like a Model Y. It has 435 kilometers of range. Model Y has 455, so just slightly more for a Model Y. It has a 66 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery. The Model Y also has a lithium iron phosphate battery. I believe Cadel make both of these batteries. Anyhow, it doesn't make much difference because they're LFP, they're from China. The power, 190 kilowatt, similar power to a Model Y, and has 440 newton meters of torque. 6.9 seconds, 0 to 100, or 0 to 62 miles an hour. So yeah, like I said, similar performance to a Model Y. Now, is it similar to the Chinese Model Y? No, the Chinese Model Y has an extra 80 horsepower over the Australian international version one. I don't know why, it's crazy. So the Chinese one, it'll do 0 to 100 in about 5.9 seconds. It's 1 second faster. Who knows why that is? That could change anyway. So as you can see, very similar. The standard range G6, Xpeng G6, very similar to the standard range Tesla Model Y, just has a little bit less range. Now the question here is, if the price is going to be almost the same, what's the point of buying an Xpeng G6? Well, for one, it does look better. I don't think there's any question about that. It does look better. Two, it does have a screen right in front of the driver. Now, I know some people complain. They say, I don't want to buy a Model Y because there's no screen right in front of the driver, no heads-up display either. And those are things you can fit to your car, by the way. And if you look at AliExpress, Alibaba, those places, to be honest, if you look at it, it looks to me as though thousands, definitely, no doubt, thousands and thousands of people who own Teslas have actually ordered these devices from Alibaba, AliExpress, and they work quite well. You can actually integrate them into the software system of a Tesla vehicle. It's cheap to do. So if you own a Tesla, that's what I probably, and you want one of those, you just do it. They're about $300-400. You can get your local car shop, your local sound and vision car shop. They'll install one of those for you for a couple $100. So that's an option. But if you don't want to do that, the G6 is certainly an option. If you like the look of the G6, that's an option. But there is definitely a bit of a risk, in terms of buying a brand new vehicle, which so far, for example, in Australia is untested. So that would be the advantage to the Model Y. And the Model Y does have 20 kilometers more range as well. Plus, it does have the whole Tesla ecosystem architecture. That's a big positive as well. Anyhow, the long range version. The long range version is in some ways better than the Tesla Model Y long range, and in some ways worse. For one, it's only rear-wheel drive. The Model Y long range in Australia, the Chinese made version of the Model Y, it's all motor. It's 2 motors, has a lot of power. It has way more power than the Xpeng G6 rear-wheel drive. So that's the big positive. There is a downside to that. That's the big positive. It has a lot more power. So it's got about, not twice the power, but not far off. The rear-wheel drive Xpeng G6 long range has 570 kilometers of range using an 87.5 kilowatt hour nickel, cobalt, manganese, lithium battery. So not a lithium iron phosphate battery, basically the same as Tesla. So Tesla also uses a similar battery to this in their long range version of the Model Y, not an LFP battery, in the long range version of the Model Y. A battery size, I believe in the G6, is bigger than battery size in the Tesla, but Tesla does have better efficiency, so range will be pretty similar, 570 kilometers of range. Anyhow, 210 kilowatt rear-wheel drive motor with 440 newton meters. It does 0 to 100 in 6.9 seconds. So in terms of performance, it's miles different because the Model Y will do 0 to 100 in just under 5 seconds. About a 2-second 0 to 100 performance difference. Now, if you care about performance, if you care about getting away from the lights fast, the Model Y long range is going to be miles better. If you care about driving in snow or maybe driving on, doing a little bit of very mild off-roading, or you've got a muddy driveway, the Model Y hands down is your only choice between these two cars. You're not going to consider the G6, but if range is your priority, I reckon in the real world, you're probably going to get a bit more range from the G6. In addition to that, the long-range G6 is probably going to come in at a cheaper price than the long-range Tesla Model Y. So that might be another advantage. Plus, of course, like I said before, the G6, it is a better-looking car. Now, charging speeds. The G6 has a DC charging capacity of 280 kilowatt. In the real world, the Model Y long range and the G6 will probably charge at similar speeds, but the standard range version, its charging speed is faster than the standard range version of the Model Y, quite a bit faster. 280 kilowatt for the G6 versus about 170, 180 for the Model Y standard range. Now, the G6 has a few different colors. Apparently it's going to come with either a white or a black interior, so basically following a Tesla there, and only 5 colors: Arctic White, Silver Frost, Graphite Gray, Midnight Black, and Fiery Orange. It comes standard with a 10.2-inch digital instrument cluster, a 15-inch touchscreen, an 8-way power driver's seat, heated and ventilated front seats, leatherette upholstery, so the similar kind of vinyl upholstery that most cars have these days, heated steering wheel, 250 watt wireless phone chargers, an 18 speaker 960 watt X Opera sound system, panoramic glass roof similar to a Tesla, 20-inch alloy wheels. Now, if you did put smaller wheels on it, you would get more range. Anyhow, vehicle to load. Now, that's the other advantage of this car versus Tesla Model Y. Vehicle to load. Tesla Model Y does not have vehicle to load. And a heat pump. So, yeah, I mean, those are some good features. Size, like I said, it's almost identical to a Model Y. 53 millimeters long, so 4.75 meters long. And it has 571 liters of storage space in the rear. So a fair bit less storage space in the boot than a Model Y, but as a result, it probably has a little bit more space in the cabin, for example, the back seat. In my experience though, in sitting in the back seat of the G6, I didn't really see much difference in terms of sitting in the G6 versus sitting in the Model Y. In addition to the G6, Xpeng also sell a range of other vehicles in China. Some of those could come to Australia, including the larger G9 SUV, plus there's some sedans. There's an X9 People Mover. The People Mover, honestly guys, I saw this driving around in China on numerous occasions. The People Mover is awesome. I love their People Mover. In terms of the P5 and P7, I don't really see them. They're kind of getting a bit older now. They're not really vehicles that I personally am a big fan of. But the G9 SUV is definitely an impressive SUV, and there's a good chance that one will come to Australia as well, I imagine. Now, after selling vehicles only in China, the company actually announced entering the European car market in 2020. Now, it does sell cars. It sells the G6 in Europe for identical to the dollar prices compared to the Model Y. But the truth is, to be honest, the G6, it doesn't sell that well, or to be honest, Xpeng cars in Europe don't sell that well. And they're going to have a lot harder situation now that they have 30% import taxes for selling in Europe. As a result, Xpeng might prioritize more on Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, even potentially Japan possibly as well, and also on Australia, where all these places, they have almost no import tax. Now guys, do Xpeng make good cars? They absolutely do. They have pretty damn good software as well. They're one of the best in terms of software in China. And I think this is going to be a great car. But the way Xpeng are launching this is very weird. Asking for a $1,000 deposit, not giving prices. More transparency, in my opinion, would be a better choice. But maybe they're just trying to drum up some marketing, and maybe I've just fallen into that trap. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.